Good evening and welcome to the Monday, November 17th Board of Selectmen meeting. It's 6:30. This meeting is being recorded. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So first up, we're going to do approval of minutes from November 3rd, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Any updates, questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Unanimous? Okay, I'm going to take this a little bit out of order. We're going to skip down to number 5A for public business. The Recreation Commission Board of Selectmen votes to approve date of Santa Parade, December 6th, 2025, or take any other action relative thereto.
Hi, Alicia Figueredo. I'm the chair of the Recreation Commission. We would like to hold the Santa Parade on December 6th, starting at 11 a.m. and with a rain date of December 13th.
Okay, any questions for Alicia?
Is Chief okay with that?
Thank you. Police and fire are okay with that? Great. Do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the date of the Santa Parade as December 6, 2025.
Second, could we add the rain date?
Is there a rain
The
date?
13th? December 13th.
The 13th is a rain date.
Thank you, second. Back to-
Okay. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you, Alicia. All right. Okay, so we are going to go back to item 3, citizens' comments. Anyone wishing to speak in front of the board? Something that's not on the agenda tonight. Mr. Durgan.
Road betterment for Apollo Lane Circle Drive, 2018. What's going on with that? 5 years, 100% of the people petitioned the select board. Kerry may be the only one that was around. You remember it?
I remember, I don't remember what's.
I think the
We haven't
issue
gotten
that held
any
it up,
updates.
Madam Chair, was that it doesn't, there was some issue with it connecting to a public way. It's required to be connected directly to a public way. I think it's all surrounded by private.
Oh, yeah? Who owns the private road?
I actually don't remember,
You don't
but
remember?
I think that was the problem.
What about Tobin Farms? Road betterment for Tobin Farms. We charged them $400,000. It's gone out to bid twice now. You said it's gone over bid.
It's gone out to bid, Madam Chair, once. It's going out to bid again now that the engineers are involved in reassessing the cost. It went over the first time, so both, I think 2 or 3 of them were rejected, the bids were received.
So why did we borrow that money without having those? It was supposed to be gone out to bid. It was supposed to be finalized before we
the money
even
was-
borrowed that money.
The money was borrowed based on the estimate we had at the time.
Yeah, an estimate. Why did we borrow it based off an estimate?
Generally borrow based off an estimate, or you,
So how long do those people have to wait until they can see road improvements? They're paying $10,000 each, I think.
Yes.
When he's done, I wanna let him finish, I just.
I think MJ is working with the engineer on that project. I think we're ready to put it back out to bid very shortly. Might be ready.
You
to
just
see.
said it was out to bid.
I don't think it's gone out yet.
Mr. Siganovich.
Madam Chair, for next meeting, could we get an update on all of the betterments, all of the projects? Because I don't think any of us have that answer. And I'd like to speak intelligently to citizens' question on that. Could we have that for the next meeting, whatever the status is of all of them?
I
We'll
think
do.
that's a great idea.
Just make sure nothing falls through the cracks, and you said if people voted for it, if they want it, they should have it.
Last thing, my house has gone over the 20 parts per trillion for the PFAS 6. That's been over a month now. So what are we waiting for? A lawsuit? Do you
I mean,
understand the
now we're
question?
talking about lawsuits, I guess we're not gonna answer any further questions, but generally, we wait for Weston and Sampson and Safewell to be involved and go through the procedure. And there's certainly no holdup on our end.
Absolutely no hold up on your end, you're saying, correct? 100%.
Well, I'm sure if I say 100%, you'll find 2%, Mr. Durgan, that you've
All right,
meted out.
good talk.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing none. We are going to move on to item 4, licenses and permits. So we're going to do a public hearing on transfer of on-premises all alcohol license and change of manager from HW Restaurant, Inc., doing business as Yummy's Chinese Restaurant, to JXLW Associates, Inc., doing business as Yummy's Chinese Restaurant, located at 398 West Main Street, Dudley, with a new manager of Jason Wu. We'll open the public hearing at 6:39 p.m. We have Mr. Wu here. Yeah, please, you can come right up. Yeah, please.
Just introduce yourself.
Jason Wu. I'm going to be accepting the peaceful transfer of power as a new owner, second generation of Yummy Chinese.
Perfect.
David Wang, the owner of HW Restaurant Inc. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Do we have any questions? Mr. Antonsen, you said all the paperwork was in for the ABCC and that whole transfer. Like, is there anything outstanding?
No, Madam Chair, nothing outstanding.
Perfect. All right. Any questions from the board?
What we usually ask in times like this, is everyone okay with it? Is, usually when a liquor license is transferred, isn't there something police are involved, perhaps?
Any open issues, any,
Isn't there like
Other
fingerprinting or something like that? Or am I misremembering?
I recollect that question coming up once before.
There was workers' comp once, but
Yeah.
fingerprints, I seem to.
Yeah, if I may, there is a bylaw where I have to do fingerprints on the new manager, do a background check, which I can make arrangements pending. They can be done tomorrow or Wednesday.
So this isn't something that needs to be, your end doesn't need to be done before the transfer.
I think the board has done where they accepted the transfer pending the outcome of the background, which, again, I don't see a problem. But if there is a problem, I would notify the board.
Perfect.
Anything else we need to go through?
If there's anything else I can think of. Any comments from the public?
Okay.
So we'll close the public hearing at 6:42 p.m. Do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to transfer the on-premise all alcohol license and change manager from HW Restaurant, doing business Yummy's Chinese Restaurant, to JXLW Associates, doing business as Yummy's Chinese Restaurant, located at 398 West Main Street, Dudley, Mass. 01571, with the new manager, Jason Wu. Contingent upon police chief confirming everything's on, okay.
Second.
Okay, any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you. We just have one
All right,
question.
yeah,
sure.
okay.
Yeah, so he has, we have the new
We're in the
renewal.
process, okay, let me say. We're in the process for apply for the, all the, just like food permit and the, the liquor license. So do we need to wait after transfer, or now we got to do it? Because if now we do it, it's still under HW Restaurant Inc., correct? Yeah, so I don't know, the process.
Madam Chair, Yes, you would still have to renew your liquor license under the current manager, and that's an ABCC policy.
Yeah.
And then once the change of manager goes through and the transfer of the liquor license goes through, you get the new license issued to you. Food
Sounds-
permit questions, I can't answer, that's the
All
Board
right.
of Health.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
We got,
Ooh. All right, perfect. So we're going to skip down to 5B, helping address the needs of Dudley seniors, hands, public update.
Thank you. I'm Sarah White, resident of Dudley and also the founder of Hands. Just an update to let everybody know that Hands is still going strong, and there are applications available throughout the town located. They can be picked up at the Pearl Crawford Library. They can be picked up here at the municipal complex at the clerk's office or downstairs in the senior center. They also are available at Stowe High Insurance Agency right here on West Main Street and the post office in Dudley. So please, any resident who is 60 and old or older, has a limited income, and wants assistance for either heating, electric, or water, please pick up an application and apply. Also, we're always accepting donations, and we're very grateful for past donations because we wouldn't be the success we are now without them. To date, we have awarded 225 grants to qualifying senior citizens, totaling $137,000 since our inception in 2008. So just, really appreciate all the donations, like I said. So please, and those who might want assistance, please don't be too proud. Pick up the application. Thank you.
Ooh, before you go away, Sarah, what's the best way to donate if families are looking to help out?
They would have to write a check or cash. We have a P.O. Box, Hands P.O. Box 343, right here in Dudley.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you. Any questions before Sarah disappears?
No.
Okay, great. Next up, we have the Dudley Conservation Land Trust public update. Yeah, please feel free to sit at the table if it's more comfortable.
I have some handouts. How are you, Carrie?
doing well yourself.
Good, thank you. Tris, I'm Liza. Nice to meet you.
Hello, thank you.
Jason.
Thank you,
Nice to
Aaron.
meet you. Rita.
Thank you.
Records, thank you.
Okay. I know there's been a little bit of a, not a little bit of a shuffle, but every board restructures. So if you just want to introduce yourselves and take it away.
Yes, indeed. Oh, thank you. So my name is Liza Moran. I'm a Dudley resident. I live on Partridge Hill Road. And so I wanted to have an opportunity to give everybody an update on things that were going on today. With me is Paul Wheelock, our treasurer and past president, and known to most of folks in Dudley, I think. So I wanted to give you guys a quick update. We've got a lot of exciting things going on, but first a reminder about our mission. We're here to provide for and conserve open space in Dudley and surrounding communities for the benefit of the community. So it helps our wildlife, it helps for passive recreation, it gets people outdoors, and it preserves the beautiful countryside that we all know and love here in Dudley. So for over 20 years, we've been a trusted partner here in Dudley, working to conserve land, and we have about 400 acres right now conserved and more in the pipeline. So, our byline, protecting land, it's our nature. With our newest land acquisition, the historic Antos Farm on Marsh Road, we now have, it says 450, and I think that's more aspirational, shall we say. When I went back and looked at Paul's numbers today, it looked a little closer to 400, so apologize for that. We're also working with the Perrin family. The Perrin family owns a small little home and barn on Dudley Oxford Road, and they are hoping to donate that to us. To preserve some of the acreage along Dudley Oxford Road, as well as to preserve the farmhouse, which is from, I don't know, early 1800s, 1830s, something like that. It needs work, so it's not in move-in condition, but it may potentially hold a lot of potential as a future home. So we are currently in active conversations with them. And we were recently awarded a conservation partnership grant from the Commonwealth toward the purchase of the Tierney property. I'd like to refer you to the last handout, which is a map that looks like this. This is the northeast corridor of Dudley. So if you picture yourself heading up to Oxford from the center of town, up Dudley Oxford Road, this shows where the Pierpont Meadows is. So the green, everything in green are things that are already preserved, that Dudley Conservation Land Trust is actively managing. The most recent of those acquisitions is right in the middle of your map. It says DCLT right in the middle of it, and that's the Antos Farm. The area in red is the current Tierney property. Originally had been owned by Chet Kalissa. And his family is working with us to sell the property to conserve this for future. And in pink is another property that we're working with the Antos family on. So a lot of really exciting things going on. The little teeny red spot down in the middle of the sort of bottom middle is the Perrin property. So it's amazing. We've had a lot of really good response. Paul can attest to that. He's down every Wednesday listening to people talk about what's important to them. We've gotten a lot of really good feedback both on social media. Personally, my neighbors have stopped me to thank me, and we're not always on the same page about things, shall we say. And it's been good. It's been really good. And I think that one of the things that we're looking toward in future is to determine for these sanctuaries that we've purchased, we need to still establish what the ground rules will be for people who are visiting those sanctuaries. Right now, they don't have trails. They're still, they're still relatively new. We think people are ready. A lot of people in town own land, value Dudley greatly, and are really interested in maybe talking with us or with someone about their legacy. What can they do in future to leave something good behind? And whether that's money, whether that's property, whether it's something else, we've been fortunate, and we hope that will continue. And if folks that are listening online today are interested in ways that they can help, go to our website. There's ways you can give. There's ways that you can get involved. Yeah, it's an exciting time. So our current focus, just turn the page, is the land acquisition in this corridor. So the importance here is when you have land that connects like this, it allows wildlife to travel unimpeded. It allows for, some of these properties have virtually no invasive plant growth in them at all. So it really allows for a really nice natural environment for everyone to enjoy. And so that the land, when we look at a new piece of land, it gets ranked higher if it's already abutting other conservation land, because if you've got little pockets, it's kind of harder to, for wildlife. I think one time we were here, we talked about bobcats. People have seen bobcats in Dudley quite a lot. It's harder for animals like that to find places to roam if it's just small pockets of wilderness. So that's why we're prioritizing the corridors. So, and the current active capital campaign that we have is to purchase the Tierney property, which is that spot in red here on the map.
Excuse me.
Yeah, sure,
I'd just like to
please.
make one real point. That Tierney property is the last remaining unprotected parcel of Bonnie View Farm that was originally owned by Chet Kalissa. So, and it would be pretty much that whole street from Dudley Oxford Road to Oxford will be protected. So.
Yeah, it's one of the things that's cool about it too is it has an old cemetery on it. So it's got a three-town marker, so Charlton, Dudley, and Oxford. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty interesting land. It's got beautiful vernal pools. It's a lovely piece. All of our sanctuaries, so it's one thing to acquire new land, it's another thing to manage it, right? So we have now, we have several really large sanctuaries and several smaller pieces. All our sanctuaries have a new 5-year stewardship plan. We're working on a budget for that because, when you're managing land like this, you need, to maintain your equipment and so forth. And we have received a grant to launch a new website, so we're actively working on that. We hope to get something up and running first quarter of next year. It's important that we invest in Dudley. We want to be sure that we're giving back to the community, that we're viewed as a partner, as I mentioned. So we've launched a series of free children's events. We had one last April. We have another one planned this coming April. We hope next year to add an adult series, and would like your thoughts on maybe what people would like to know about, what would people like to hear about, what would be exciting. Our stewardship priorities is to make some more trails, to ensure that we're addressing invasive plant issues, and that our stewards they're like me, they're getting older. So we need a succession plan for stewardship, and that along with that goes an important aspect of that is to ensure everybody knows what does it mean to be a steward, what are the responsibilities, and to bring younger people along. So we'd like to partner with the town. Looking ahead, we're thinking that we're going to need your help on the conservation restrictions. So we have a couple of properties coming up where we're going to need your approval on the conservation restriction agreements that we've made. As I mentioned, we'd like to work on, some kind of a way to engage people town-wide. So if there's something that you guys think would be interesting to hear about or that you'd like to see us get more involved in, we'd like your ideas on that. A couple of years ago, Paul and a couple of other board members took the initiative to plant some trees with the DPW's help, plant some trees. I think last time we were here, we talked about that effort. We'd like to do that again next year, so we'd like your thoughts about that. I have a couple ideas that just popped into mind, but I'm sure by no means an exhaustive list, and one that we would really like your thoughts on. And some of them, the timing might not be right. Like Dudley, I think, would like to invest more in its riverfront world. We have two beautiful rivers. So maybe there's some work that could be done along the French River somehow. My thought would be to bring conservation to the people. So figure out ways that we can beautify the world that most folks in Dudley are living in. So people can still get in their cars and go to our sanctuaries, but are there things that we can do to help everyone appreciate the beauty of nature and the importance of it? So let me stop there and ask, do you guys have thoughts or questions for us?
Questions? No, this is a lot. Like you're doing a lot at the DCL. I think that's great. Like this is such a benefit to town. Not everybody has groups that are doing things like this and are trying to think forward, especially about sustainability and legacy and making sure that we have green spaces.
Yeah, one of the core memories of me and my oldest daughter is participating in the Earth Day cleanup down at the Quinnebog River.
Yes.
And I still have the green shirt where we picked up. I think we counted something like 180 hypodermic needles that we had picked up in addition to 8 bags of trash.
Along the rail trail?
Along the river in a little collection basin over by the dam. And the focus. I'm a fly fisherman, so I love getting out, getting on the water, and being able to experience nature, and having this type of land in Dudley where we can just go and be is really pretty powerful.
Sure, sure.
I was the principal at Dudley Middle School for a number of years, and they do have, I'm not there anymore, they do have a group of students who are involved in conservation efforts and ecological studies, so it would be worth a reach out.
At the middle school?
Yeah.
All right, yeah,
Principal
that's a
Tesco.
good demographic right there to get engaged.
The kids are really invested and involved. They love to engage in community service activities, and the scouting community is also a great opportunity to build some volunteer base. A lot of kids are involved.
You mentioned cleanup. Do you feel that that's something that we could be doing more of? Are there areas that you feel we're not? Because I know that people do walk along. I think that there's organizations that divide up on Earth Day, right? Divide the town up and do various cleanup walks. Do you feel there's more that could be done?
I think if focusing on Earth Day is great. It's in April. It's right after the vacation.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a way to maybe focus on different areas of conservation land at
Okay.
different times of the year.
Okay,
To get
yep.
volunteers out. National Honor Society, National Junior Honor Society, Student Council in the schools would be a great way to, prime the volunteer base, I think.
Thank you for the feedback, yeah, that's great. What topics do you think would interest people? What would interest you guys? So I've heard about cleaning up, I've heard about fly fishing. Somebody mentioned about bobcats once.
In my current school, we just started a bird watching club based off of a bird identification app through Cornell University. My
Merlin.
current school, we've got a lake on our property, and the kids go out once a week and they do an inventory of the birds that are in the area. So maybe something along those lines where kids can get involved, hands-on.
Yeah, we have a hiking club. I'm sorry I didn't mention that. We do have a hiking club quarterly, and that's open to anyone that's able, of course, to do such a thing. That's great, a bird watching club. I love that.
Mr. Johnson?
Madam Chair, through the chair, also at the high school, there's a group, I know my kids did it back in the day. Justin Savageau used to run, they called it the Envirothon.
Yes.
They would compete with,
Yes.
against other high schools, and they do focus on environmental topics like forestry, soils, water, wildlife, and current environmental issues. So they could be good partners as well.
Yeah, we had initiated some work with them, I don't know,
Yeah, it was about
4 or 5 years
4 or 5
ago.
years ago,
We
yeah.
had some, actually it was on Paul's Wheelock Woods, where they had a vernal pool. We asked them to take a look at, and maybe it was more than they were equipped to do. That didn't work out, but it's no reason not to try again. And I think we really would like to do some trail clearing, bushwhacking. There's nothing like, young bodies to do such work, under direction, of course, but, okay, so what I'm hearing is get the kids in the schools more involved, because they're our future. I understand that.
Yeah, we do promote Earth Day very heavily in a couple different boards in town, so partnering with them. I'm not sure if your group has done much partnering with the Board of Health, and as someone that's been voluntold to be part of that event several times, it's a really good event. And, a lot of
Okay. All right. Do you have any other questions for us about the organization or what we're trying to accomplish?
Mr. Siganovich?
Yes, you have the Audubon here, Pierpoint Meadow. Do you have any partnerships with them at all, or is that just?
Want to speak to that?
Yeah, we're heavily in partnership with Mass Audubon. They hold a lot of our conservation restrictions. They monitor a few of our properties. And this Tierney property too, we're gonna be getting a conservation restriction with them for that property. So we do a lot of work with Mass Audubon.
That's like my favorite place to snowshoe. Seriously.
Where's that?
Pierpont Meadows?
Pierpont Meadows, yeah.
Not a lot of people. It's just really nice. And I always see something I wouldn't expect to see.
Really? Have you tried Slater Woods?
No, I haven't. I'm a creature of habit. Once I find something I like, you gotta get a crowbar.
Well, I only wondered, I don't know if it's a good place for snowshoeing, so it strikes me that it could be, because it's not a big changes in terrain, right? But,
The hill at the end kind of reminds you that you're not on an e-bike, to come out.
right.
It's a little steep to come out, but yeah, there's a few fields in there. You go to the water, all kinds of different wildlife. And like I said, I can count on one hand how many times I've seen people there in the past 10 years.
I like that snowshoeing.
Underutilized. And
Except-
if that was somehow tied into, I see the properties abut, if there was like some sort of a longer trail or a longer snowshoe trail, whatever, that'd be great.
You can come to my backyard, you can snowshoe there anytime you want.
I see enough of you.
Well,
I'm good.
we would really welcome people, especially people that are getting out there and using these sanctuaries. If you think of something later and you feel like, gosh, wouldn't it be great if, that Oxford has a new place called Oxford Woodlands, right? That also abuts the properties. And one of the things that we're going to be working on with Audubon is to expand the trail systems between our two sanctuaries. So, may not be next year, Carrie, but I think it will be forthcoming soon.
Deal.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Well,
We really appreciate, oh, sorry,
I got
Paul.
One more
Yes.
thing. I had a discussion, a few weeks back with Mr. Sullivan, and, we thought that maybe this might be a good time. We've been doing all this work for over 20 years. Maybe the town would like to do something too, so we thought we'd maybe try to take a shot at passing the Community Preservation Act, through a ballot. So I gave him a packet with all the information, and this is something the Land Trust will support, and we would work with the town to try and get it passed. And so if you could speak with Mr. Sullivan, and maybe we could work together and get that thing done too.
I think, Madam Chair, I think that's a town meeting initiative, not a ballot.
No, I read the law itself. It has to go to the ballot. It has to go to a ballot, town ballot.
Because it failed one time, right?
It failed about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The problem back then, it was the surcharge. You could surcharge the people's real estate taxes from 1% to 3%. At that time, they tried 3%. That's never going to happen. So if maybe we can take a shot at 1%, and then there's a for people that can prove hardship, you can take off $100,000 from their property taxes. It would be exempt from paying that. So, it only benefits the town. Like this project right out here could have been paid for through the Community Preservation Act. The possibilities are endless. One thing that I thought of that the town's gonna have to do at some point is the football field up at the high school. That fields don't last forever. And you guys should be sitting down when you find out what that's gonna cost. So if we have, this kind of money put aside, we may be able to, defer some of these costs for the town, so.
As far as the football field, that's a school, that's the school, but
But it's in town, and we could probably use those funds.
they've got advertisers that they had donations. What was it, 50%?
Roughly 1.1 million was supposed to be for donations.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is, so when you have to replace the field, are they gonna have those donations again? Do you know that for sure?
I don't think they came for the field itself. It was kind of a.
Well, I'm just trying to help you out here, to,
Yeah, we wouldn't be the only stakeholders either. Of course, there would be historic interests,
Right.
potentially that could find it useful. And Dudley's a special place, and it's worth us doing what we can to preserve it for our
So,
future. for
and we
kids'
wanna work
future.
with the town, so if we can,
Yeah.
come up with something together, we'll be right there.
Yeah, thank you. I know personally I appreciate the work that you do. I know it probably feels thankless sometimes, but then, you come down Dudley, Oxford, and it's beautiful. It just is. Like, that's just what the community is, so
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Beautiful place.
But thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Of
it.
course. Okay, so next up we have Kajak Inc., doing business as Upside Food and Drink. Board of Selectmen act on the recent alleged violation dated September 25th, 2025, serving, selling to a minor, or take any other action relative thereto.
Good evening.
There. Good evening. If you could introduce yourselves.
Christopher Rivers is my wife, Kelly Rivers.
Chief, you can, wherever's comfortable.
I have prepared a summary of the incident, pass it out to the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you would, if you want, I can read the letter, just to kind of go over the incident real quick, if that's fine?
Yep.
Okay. So, on September 25th, 2025, at approximately 10 p.m., members of the Dudley Police Department conducted an age compliance check at Upside Food and Drink, located at 59 Schofield Ave.
Prior to entering, officers confirmed with the employee stationed at the front entrance that all admitted patrons had been verified as being over the age of 21. Upon entry, Sergeant Keith Remillard and Officer Byron Lara observed a large group of individuals walking towards the rear corner of the establishment. Officers began conducting identification checks to verify ages and noted that several individuals were holding alcoholic beverages and appeared to be under the influence of alcohol. During the course of these checks, 2 males admitted they were under the age of 21 and had presented false identification to the front door employee. Both individuals who were determined to be 19 years old were placed under arrest. A third male attempted to exit the establishment through the rear door. Officers made contact with him and confirmed that he was also 19 years old and had used fraudulent identification card to gain entry. He was subsequently placed under arrest. All 3 individuals were charged with violating Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 34, false misuse of a liquor identification card or license. During this compliance operation, officers screened approximately 20 patrons who appeared to be younger of age and identified 3 of them to be under the age of 21. And that would be the summary of the event.
So what is the process when you're checking IDs at the door? Like, what's the current process that?
Well, we've made significant changes in how we handle that going forward. We've added, we increased staff. We purchased a minor decliner, which is not only an ID scanner, but it also has a third-party button you can hit, and it checks for fake IDs. It's 95% effective. We've teamed with the school, Nichols, and students are required to have their school ID, which happens to have their date of birth on it, along with their driver's license. What else have we done?
When they get on the shuttle, from the kids that are getting on the shuttle from the school, the students that are getting on the shuttle from the school, they have to have their
ID as well. And are you asking for that at the door in addition to their,
Yeah.
like, if they have an out-of-state ID?
Yes.
Okay.
They offer it right away now. They know that we require both.
Okay.
And every student or anybody that appears under the age of 30 is fake scanned at this point. We've also hired several times, and we will periodically continue to hire details just to keep them in check. You know, they come, they don't want to lose their fake. Well, we've confiscated a few and brought them to the station. I think they all know they have their own social app, so they know they're not getting in. Can I be 100%? Honestly, I can't be 100%. The technology is pretty good, but the third-party app that we have continuously updates. And I think with the staff being trained and retrained, new employees, and some of our long-term employees, we've done all retraining, what to look for.
Well, we've trained them now, if they look under the age of 30, to use the fraudulent ID scanner, regardless if we believe they're a student or not. Before, it was just check an ID. If they look under the age of 30, make sure it's valid. You know, look for peeling or anything you can identify. But now it's, if they look under the age of 30, they use the fraudulent ID scanner on anyone and everyone. So that's what we changed since too.
Mr. Johnson?
Chief, what are other establishments in town doing in similar situations?
I believe they're using pretty much the same process. They're using scanners for anybody that looks under the age of 30 years old. The problem is that Upside is getting a lot of young individuals, mostly Nichols College crowd, that's going to that establishment, so that they have a larger presence of younger individuals. But for the most part, everybody else uses the same form of ID system.
And I did also learn that ID scanners, fake IDs scan. So I almost purchased an ID scanner, not realizing that you need to have that fraudulent option. So the scanner that we purchased was roughly $800, and every fraudulent scan is, what, 50 cents or something? So we
Yeah,
add.
so we purchase in volume.
So we consistently add credits to it. So we can scan IDs all day long for nothing. But if we click that fraudulent option, then it charges us for every scan. And not all scanners have that fraudulent ID option.
Right, so what I've learned with anybody can purchase an ID scanner. And an ID scanner, all it's gonna do is tell you whether or not the ID in your hand has expired, or if the identification on it says the birth date is this date, it's gonna tell you whether or not that person's over 21 according to that ID. First and foremost, you're gonna make sure the person that's presenting the ID is the person in the picture. And then I also have my staff quiz people. Oh, what street do you live on? Call your eyes, you know, these kinds of things. Like I said,
But the
we're
fake
running
ID,
a tight-knit operation right now. I'm more than welcome the police to come in anytime they want and check on us, because we're straight up, so.
yeah, we wanted this to happen. We wanted these kids to feel a little pushback, because we kind of felt like some point, you know, they just can kind of walk away from it. But unfortunately, this had to happen. But since this, we really haven't seen too many students. So.
If I may, the problem with the scanners is they sell you the scanner, but the real money is in the software. So a lot of these companies have a third party, whether it's another business where you have to pay an extra fee, and it scans that ID and then checks it in the database to see if it's a legit number. So if it's a legit number, comes back to that name, it comes back valid. If it comes back to Mr. Smith, but it actually comes back to Mr. Johnson, then obviously it's not a real ID. So that's where the money is. The money is in the purchasing the software, and like you said, it's whatever the cost is. And unfortunately, that's a new technology these days now. It's all in the software.
Mr. Johnson?
Chief, has liaison lieutenant with Nichols made any headway with some work with them?
Yeah, I believe the lieutenant in East he has monthly meetings with Nichols College. We talked about the problems we're having with underage drinking off campus, and I believe they made a couple adjustments to their shuttle bus as far as whether or not they monitor it a little bit more, check more IDs. They have a camera system inside the shuttle bus now, GPS. So they check that a little bit more. They're a little bit more strict when it comes to the shuttle bus. But again, bottom line, at the end of the day, it comes down to when you run the ID, whether or not that software is attached to it to make sure that it's fake or just giving you the right information, but it's coming back to nothing. It's almost like if I had a motor vehicle stop, I stopped the car, ran somebody's license without actually checking through a database. It's kind of hard to tell whether or not it's a real ID or a fake ID, and that's where the third party comes in. They're not connected to the registry, but they're connected to other databases where they're able to give that information out. If we work a detail, we can run the license right through dispatch, and that's how we ID the person's the right person.
Do you have a follow-up?
Yeah. So
Sorry, Gary.
I'll pull that thread. The third party it's not the same database that you obviously have access to, state databases or federal databases. These third parties, what are they actually looking at?
That I'm not sure where they're actually getting the data from. I'm not gonna throw the government under the bus, but I'm sure the government somehow makes money off of somebody somewhere selling our data. So whether it's the insurance companies, whether it's the RMV, whether it's, I have no idea who it is, but somewhere somebody's making money off our database. I couldn't tell you who. If I did, I would have invested in that company, but.
Mr. Sikanovich?
Thank you, Madam
Yeah.
Chair.
Of course.
Question about the bus policy. I was looking through it, and I was wondering if there were any changes made to some things there, because according to that, they'll bring, as far as keeping people underage off the bus, they'll let them off wherever. And there's no policy with checking to make sure. Basically, they're bringing 19-year-old kids to the bar. Are they still doing that, or have they stopped that?
That I could probably get the lieutenant to answer that.
I
'cause he
didn't mean to
said-
get you up here, but I got a few follow-ups too.
I can say the bus hasn't come since this incident.
We haven't seen the shuttle bus since.
Yeah, so it hasn't
Are you
come.
still in favor
But
of
the
the
two fake
shuttle bus
IDs,
coming to your location?
I have
With
adults.
with 21 or plus students, yes.
If I may just,
But, oh, I'm sorry.
as far as the bus service, there's pros and cons to everything, and the only pros about the shuttle going back and forth to establishments, hopefully everybody's over the age of 21, and if they are, it reduces the number of OUI incidents that we've had with the college. I remember as a patrolman, we used to run into this all the time, whether it's a crash on Airport Road, Tanyard Road, or right outside the campus, and they would be coming back from very different establishments. It seems like in the last couple of years, that number's gone down, whether it's through the Uber use, whether it's just responsible drinking, or whether it's the shuttle. So, there is pros and cons to the shuttle service. It just, like the Mr. Kerry Siganovich said, that I hope that Nichols does take a little bit more precautions with that. But
Mr. Siganovich, I can answer that question for you. I asked the college, I meet with them every month. I asked them directly to not put underage students or kids on that shuttle bus that brings them to bars, especially local bars. And obviously their answer to me was it doesn't just provide a shuttle bus to the bars. They addressed it to me that the shuttle goes to a 15-mile radius anywhere around town. So if a student wanted to go to Walgreens or Leone's Pizza or Market Basket in Oxford, it's within that 15-mile radius. So they said, there's obviously 19-year-olds that want to go to Leone's and 19-year-olds that want to go to here, there, and everywhere. So that was the answer I got from them. So.
And these buses are operated by students, it's not any faculty, correct?
That's correct. It is run by a student, another student, correct.
Another follow-up. From what I read in the policy, they will not bring any students, regardless of their age, to a package store or a dispensary.
Liquor stores and smoke shops.
They will not bring them there to take the thing and bring it home.
Correct.
But they'll bring it somewhere to have it off premises. And there's also a piece in that policy that says they don't guarantee them a ride home, correct?
I did forward you the policy,
read it.
so.
And I don't mean to like cross-examine
Yeah.
or anything like that. It's just, what I'm trying to point out is, granted, you had underage people
Correct.
in your place that
Correct.
were served multiple times.
Correct.
However, they're having a college filling up a bus with underage kids and dropping them off at their front door. And we're asking them we're not asking them for money here, we're asking them just be a good part of the community and kind of
Monitor
maybe
it.
look into that a little and maybe not do that.
I've addressed that with.
I know you have.
With the college, and I've asked them to produce a list of students that were over the age of 21 that we could give to the establishments, and they said they couldn't do that due to privacy reasons.
Could could a student decide to opt into that?
That would be a fair question. I could.
Voluntarily, yeah.
You could, that would be good, because I'm not gonna speak for anybody else on this board, but I think it's fair to assume we want you in business. I visit you a couple times for live music, that Neil Young cover band, good stuff. And we used to have destination places in town, like Drafters, and Drafters, I remember, Drafters had a similar situation. And I look through every time, I think it was 3 times with underage people drinking in your establishment, and they all have one thing in common, where they went to school. And
So,
and
I would like to say, I mean, I would appreciate that Nichols could do what they could to not bring underage students to our venue. But we also understand that this is our business, and we are the gatekeeper of our establishment. So we take the responsibility of making sure the people that come into our place are of age. So,
And you can refuse service to whoever you want. You could tell me no, for no reason. You could, whatever. So again, I'm not telling you how to run your business at all. I want you to be successful. I think it's safe to say that all of us do. But we've gotta follow the rules, and, yeah. That's all I've got, Madam Chair, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Any other questions? Comments? Okay, so where does this leave us?
Right.
Yes.
I see 3 separate incidences. This is one of those things that this is one of the times I don't like doing this. I don't like being in this situation, but we have to be. And I don't think this rises to the level of whatever the punishment is for 3 offenses. I don't think it does. That's my opinion. In the past, what have we done, like with drafters, cinnies? I don't want to treat them different than we've treated someone else. What have we done with first offenses in those cases? Like drafters. I think drafters here is the one that's the most similar because they had a scanner. And their scanner would actually take a picture. They put the ID on the scanner and there was a camera and he'd get the ID in the person's face at the same time, and they were still getting bamboozled.
Yeah, 'cause yep.
They were still getting bamboozled.
Yep, they scan.
Do we remember what we did with draft?
Chiefs might remember better than me.
Unfortunately, I wasn't chief at the time.
Sorry.
I think I was on the patrol side at that time, making arrests and everything else. So the administration part, I can tell you what happened to drafters at the time for that incident.
I think, I don't want to guess, because I'm going to get it wrong. I was on the board at the
I'm
time,
not
but it
dirty.
was, yeah. No, but I don't want to provide you with a path forward that might be too overbearing or not sufficient for the board to follow without knowing exactly what happened. I can say I do remember an incident that where the first offense was 3 days shut down, with the establishment picking the 3 days of the shutdown. I also remember an incident where the penalty was imposed, but the sentence wasn't served based on a period of no further incidents. So.
Like a suspended
A
sentence, so to
suspended
speak.
sentence. So that if it came up again, then it would be the second offense versus the first, with a suspended sentence. And then I remember instance where it's just been throw the book at them. So there's a lot of latitude, Madam Chair.
Great.
So we're
No,
not fixed
I-
to a specific rubric of what A plus B equals C. We're not fixed to a
There's a
certain.
specific rubric, but how you implement that rubric is at the discretion of the board. You impose a sentence, you can suspend it. You can impose a sentence, you can specify days that are more busy or less busy. To be a little more or less punitive, or you can take no action.
I don't want to do all the talking here.
No, so, I mean, from where I'm sitting, I feel like with the incidences that have happened, no one is sitting at upside going, okay, well, this is just how it is, and like rolling over. Like, you've taken steps to try to mitigate this. And I understand that that's part of that is protecting your own business, but like, I also see it as, you know, complying with the laws and protecting the community. Like, it's, I mean, looking at the matrix that was provided to us with violations and offenses and things like that, I mean, the first offense is supposed to be a 3-day suspension. That's what's written down. Whether or not, I mean, I just feel like there's been some activity on your part to try to mitigate it going forward. I don't know if anyone else feels differently about potentially issuing the 3-day suspension and suspending it based on like a probationary.
If I can just add, even though I wasn't the chief at the time, when drafters happened, I think the board has to look at it as, even though it's a first offense, they gotta look at the circumstances of every single issue. Whether it's a violation because they didn't check for IDs at all, whether they checked IDs and one slipped by, or whether or not somebody was intoxicated and they fell on the ground. I think that those circumstances, every situation should probably weigh on the decision on the board, just like they would in law enforcement, whether or not, if somebody gets caught, doing something wrong, and whether it was just negligence on their end or whether there were other circumstances. So I think, looking at the past, I would just look at it as every incident has their own merit to it, the values.
Thank you for that, Chief. That helped clarify some things for me, because I'm looking at the reports from these three, and I don't see anything about someone stumbling, someone needed assistance, there was any kind of ambulance called, anything like that.
Correct.
I don't see any of that. What I see is you've got Nichols kids with fake IDs, and they're trying to get in, you're trying to stop them, but they're still getting in. I don't know what else. It seems you gotta do just a little more. I don't know if it's talk to Nichols and say, hey, don't bring that bus here unless they're 21, and you're willing to vouch that the people getting off that bus are 21, because you're hurting us here. Knock it off. I don't know if you need to do that or what, but I like that suspended sentence. I'm willing to make a motion to have this count as the first offense with a punishment of a 3-day loss of business, suspended for 60 days, and if no other occurrences happen in the 60 days, no punishment needs to be served. I put 6, and that's the end of the motion. I put 60 because I know you're either gonna say 30 or 90.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
For discussion, I'm gonna agree with Mrs. Gambich for first time in a long time.
It's how good government's supposed to happen. We're supposed to have disagreements and figure something
I
out.
think we got those out of the way the last 4 months.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
And seriously, we want you to do well, we really do. And whatever we can do to help you with this issue, let us know if there's something we can do, if you need something from us, because I really do. I feel for you. It's like you've got, it's like you've got a computer system and you got somebody trying to hack into your system. You've got, fraud might be a strong word, maybe it isn't, but they're trying to deceive you.
And it is tough for us because it's easy if someone comes into our establishment and they cause trouble or they give our staff a hard time, it's easy to say, don't come back.
They don't.
But these students, the ones that we've got to meet over the years, especially their parents that come in and have lunch when they're here visiting their kids, they have graduation parties, they have birthday parties for their kids, the students are buying their parents upside sweatshirts for Christmas. So it's hard to say, don't come back, because that would simplify it, right? If we just ban all Nichols College students, then there's this, but that's hard on us to make that decision too, because they like coming to our establishment, we like seeing them, and just gotta make sure that they're of age.
There's an answer somewhere in the middle, and those are the joys of being self-employed.
Yeah, right.
Okay, well, if there's no more comments, let's put it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
So just to be clear, if nothing happens in the next 60 days, there's no
Okay.
punishment.
Yep. All right. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you.
I can't remember what we're doing next. Oh, the IT policy, perfect. Okay. So- Next up, the IT policy vote. Board of Selectmen votes to approve updated IT policy effective November 17th, 2025, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Town Administrator.
This is just a follow-up where the IT department presented a new policy for Wi-Fi use, public Wi-Fi use, and staff Wi-Fi use. And we've rolled it out to all the departments for their feedback. I received no feedback. I assume that the board has read it and they're okay with it. The only thing that I asked to change in the policy, and we've added that to the policy for you to vote on tonight, is instead of the public Wi-Fi going out at, what was it originally, 6? 7? I'd like it to run till 10 in case we have a guest here or another board has a guest here and they're using the public Wi-Fi and they need it for presentation.
Okay.
Other than that, there's been no other changes to it.
Any questions?
No.
Okay, so I guess at that point, I will entertain a motion to approve the updated IT policy.
So moved.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Thank you. All right, and item F, what most of you are here for. The Eisenhower Road betterment. Board of Selectmen reviews petition validity and votes on necessity based on public convenience or to take any other action relative thereto.
Madam Chair, I just need to recuse myself from this discussion.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Madam Chair, as part of the road betterment program, the first step is to get a petition of more than 50% of the landowners on the street, with linear footage on the street, to agree. We submitted that to the assessor's office. Lisa has looked up and researched those who are on the petition and verified that they meet that criteria of 50% or more. So the next step would be for the Board of Selectmen to vote to direct me to get an cost estimate from the town engineer usually for the cost of the road betterment, and then it would be referred to the planning board.
Okay. Do you have any questions? Any questions from the public? I mean, you came, so, right? All right. Okay, so do we have a motion then for,
Because there's a lot of people here who are not gonna ask a
Yes.
question, but I'm gonna answer the questions that they're not gonna ask. Do you
Okay.
have to go with, if the cost comes back and it's ridiculous, do you have to proceed with it? The answer is no. You can stop at the planning board level, or if it makes it somehow at a town meeting, you can vote against it. But there'd be time to discuss that before anything proceeds forward with any sort of betterments or improvements. You know, if you have any questions, you can ask them now. I'm happy to answer those that I can.
yeah, please do.
Say it.
Just as a reminder, just identify yourself, and I know you're on Eisenhower, that's why you're here.
Good evening. John Moniz from 7 Eisenhower Drive. So I just wanted to come up because, like you said, there are things that are going to be on the betterment proposal, but we also have the, correct if I'm wrong, we have the ability to remove whatever we feel or deem that it's not necessary as well, correct?
You have the ability to speak at the planning board, and we can certainly talk about that, but generally these are brought up to the standard of a subdivision as it would have been during the time that it was built.
Okay.
So whatever that standard was back when Eisenhower was put in, it would have to meet at least that criteria.
Okay, I'm just asking because I know like at Tobin Drive, when they did the whole betterment and everything, there were things like bushes and lights and things of that sort that the residents of the neighborhood decided that they didn't need, so that was removed off of the estimated cost.
So it would come back to the Board of Selectmen. I'll use that example, Tobin. The bids have come back way too high, more than, and that was in part because when we took another look at it, there were additional things that were on there that just are no longer necessary because of the way the final as-built came out. They're just not necessary. But we're not gonna make those decisions ourselves. We're gonna have an engineer take a look at it and make sure that the decisions that we ask the Board of Selectmen to eventually vote on, the town meeting to vote on, don't flood the place out, don't cause any future problems when it becomes a town road. So the engineer will say, yes, you can keep that, or no, you can change it and make it, use this plan, which is less expensive, or maybe you need to improve this further than was originally thought of. So there is some room to discuss it, but it's done methodically. It's done with an engineer, it's done with discussion, it's done with oversight. And that's a long way to answer your question, and the answer to your question is, yes, there are things that we may be able to take out based on today's standards, but it's gotta be, we've gotta at least get a starting point as to the way the thing was laid out at the time it was originally put in.
Right, and I think that's why, myself included, with all my neighbors, I believe that's why we're here, is because, you know,
Right.
we're way overdue for our starting point. You know, no offense, but.
Can we stop paying taxes, at least?
And we what?
So basically what he's saying is the fact that we have been paying taxes all this time that we've resided at our address, and unfortunately, we're not receiving any of the benefits of the town. Whether it's plowing, whether it's sanding, whether it's salting, whether it's any of that stuff. You know, we're pretty much being held responsible for our pumping station now at the end of the road when the funds run out, that, you know, it's like, you do or die. So to kind of elaborate what he was trying to say is, yeah, we do feel that we have been paying a lot of taxes and we're not seeing any of the benefits of, you know, the neighboring areas. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yep, come on up.
Something I didn't hear very well said. My name is Ilka Yalina. I'm 14 Eisenhower Drive. So are we at this point now, we have approved, aren't we? So you guys gonna go and do the planning now? And then we can have another meeting where we can discuss about something.
So, through the chair, you're correct, you're approved. They're gonna vote now and approve that enough people signed that petition where it now makes sense for the town to pay an engineer to give you an estimate as to what it's gonna cost.
And then we can discuss, you know, who's
And
gonna.
then- And then you can discuss it.
Yeah, okay. So at this point, this is all we can actually
Yeah.
say and do. It's done now. So what kind of schedule are we talking about?
What's the schedule?
Right. Meaning like you have now the approval from us to do something.
Yeah.
When are you planning to do something? What kind of timeline?
Within the next week or 10 days, Olivia and I will sit down with the highway superintendent and we'll get the town engineer involved and we'll schedule him to go out again or come in and speak with us. I know that the highway superintendent and town engineer have already been out there. So now we'll start putting together some costs. It'll be within the next week to 10 days that we'll have a meeting and we'll start putting those costs together for you.
All right. All right, very good.
Okay?
Thank you.
Anything else from the board? Oh, yep, in the front.
Do we need to make a motion on this, or is this just
Yeah, I think we do.
Kara Gokin, 10 Eisenhower Drive. I'm just curious, how many other streets in Dudley are in our position? Seems like there's a few. And how long have they been waiting? So that we have a real clue how long this is gonna take for us to be resolved.
So it's really up to the neighborhood, like you've done, to put a petition together and there are some streets that are private roads and the residents don't want it to become public roads at all. So it's really up to the residents to bring it to the board's attention to proceed forward with a betterment. And just like you've done, as long as they come in with, the majority owners come in and they present that petition, and we verify that they're the actual owners of the land and the property, then we move forward with it. But it all starts at the neighborhood level.
Is there any contact information for Dan Henney? Put us in this position.
I'm biting a hole.
He's in Douglas.
I heard he was a town inspector for a while, so it kind of really burns.
I don't think we have it, unfortunately, so.
Isn't it under like an LLC or something of that nature?
Yeah, usually.
Usually it's,
Madam Chair,
Yes.
you want a motion?
Yes, please.
So what I see here is Board of Selectmen approves the petition. I'd like to approve the petition to move forward with the Eisenhower Road betterment process.
Yes.
second?
And I would even add, if it's okay.
That's why I'm looking at
Yeah,
it.
I would add, based on the documentation provided by the principal assessor, you would move that the Board of Selectmen would approve the petition, correct?
I'm good with that.
Because, Madam Chair, all you're really doing here is saying,
We want you to
based
move
on this
forward.
information, you've met the minimum criteria to move forward with incurring a cost.
Okay.
All we do at this process is take the paper in one hand and pass it to the next place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy to do that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you. Get that project up and running. Sir? Yeah.
I have one more question.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. We voted, but like, please
Yeah, it's
ask.
okay.
Yeah.
Richard 40 Eisenhower Drive.
Of course.
We purchased 5 years ago, so this is all new to us. And I was just wondering, like you say, that the contract record, from the architect, are we gonna be going back to what the original intent was for this cul-de-sac that was being built? And then going forward with that project document for the estimate? Is that how this works?
Through the chair, that's the starting point, because we need a starting point, so we go back to the original plan that was approved at the planning board level.
Right.
But then
that's-
we bring in the town engineer, we bring in the highway superintendent, and we try to make it reasonable and appropriate to today's standards. In other words, if there were a situation where someone walked away and left 9 lots undone that would have required, a retention pond or something like
Right.
that, but those houses don't really exist in today's world, or something else took place there that would change the engineering design.
Right.
Those are the kind of things that we consider now.
Right.
But the starting point is what the original documentation said for the
Right.
subdivision.
So the original contract documents from the contractor that built the road, and then, so there should have been a bond for the construction, and that bond should be used to fix what was not correct. But then the maintenance of that goes from our taxes and water and sewer. So, I was told that the pump station that's right at the bottom of the hill, if it goes an alarm, we're responsible for it, but we've been paying taxes and water and sewer, and the bond was exhausted, but I believe the bond would have been for the construction, not for the maintenance. So just when you ask your engineer to go through it, have them go look at the original documents and find out when somebody signed off and gave occupancy. I wasn't around 25 years ago when this was done, but I'm around now, so I'm just curious to make sure that we protect the residents from not being taken advantage of, something that should have been done from the contractor and from the building inspector at the time, which I believe were the same person. I'm not sure, but that's what I've been told. So I'm just curious to make sure you go back to protect the residents. Because we're all long-term residents now. We're planning on not going anywhere. And most of my neighbors have been there for the entire time. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and with that, we're gonna move on to departmental communication. Fire department. Nothing tonight. Police. Nope. Water sewer? Highway. Town accountant. Yeah. I'll take anybody who wants to say yes.
I don't know, we could be out by 8.
I know we could. We might still be.
Did I say that too loud?
Yeah, a little bit. Right into the mic.
Sarah Monjo, Town Accountant. I just wanted to give you a brief update. Busy time of year. We are in the process of setting the tax rate for FY '26. So I'm working with the assessor and the rest of the finance team to come up with the numbers, and we should have that. We should be filing, the classification hearing is scheduled for December 1st, and we'll file right after that. So hopefully we'll know in early December what the tax rate is for FY '26.
and working very actively filing the Schedule A, which is the income statement for the town, which is due by November 30th. So that's on schedule and should be filed on time. And then we should have cash posted for October by midweek, the end of this week. So that's where we stand.
Perfect.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions for Sarah before she scuttles back? No? Okay, great. Treasurer collector. You're all set tonight. Okay. Great. Town administrator.
Madam Chair, I was out for the last week, so I don't have a big report, but I will say that we did open the bids for the independent healthcare consultant. We have a winning bid. We've notified the winning bidder, and we're working on meeting this week and next week.
Fantastic.
Putting together a couple of meetings to keep that moving forward.
Good. All right. Any questions? No. Assistant Town Administrator? Okay, great. Board member comments. Mr. Siganovich.
Thank you. I'm going to say something this time. Here's a shocker. It's going to be about Nichols. This is a reason why I say no a lot of times when they come up. It's not about money. Granted, they're not doing the pilot program. Haven't heard anything even after when I had that piece a couple months ago. But this is an example, and I'm glad there's one that I can talk about where I don't want to get the town in any sort of legal issue. Here it is. They're willfully bringing underage kids to a bar in our town, causing a business difficulty. I mean, I don't know what senior management is thinking over there, and I kind of feel bad when Heather Bose comes here to ask for things on their behalf. She's a great person. Her family does a lot in this town. Good stuff. I just have zero faith in the management over there for a number of reasons. And this is one of them. You claim to care about the community. You won't take the bus to have kids get alcohol and have it in the safety of their own places. You'd rather have them out there having it at bars, and yeah, if you're not 21, we don't care, we'll still drop you off there. It's just disgusting, and I feel for the owners of Upside, I do, but ultimately, when you own a business like that, you serve someone that's underage, you're in trouble for it, so. I'm kind of glad that this came out where people can see that I don't have a vendetta. I just see something and I vote my conscience. Thank you.
Mr. Sarchewski.
I just wanted to comment on the DCLT presentation tonight. I think it was fantastic. The more that we can do to promote the great efforts that they have and promote the use of the land would be really beneficial to our community, give us some opportunity to enjoy open spaces, and maybe start the thought process on how we can use that as a lever to increase economic development in town, because we have so much public land to enjoy. And then the second piece is related to the season of giving. You know, the Toys of Tots campaign is going on. See down in the Dudley Police lobby, the bin is overflowing. I think that's fantastic. The contributions for the Webster Dudley Food Share are underway, and you know, events, community events like the Dudley PTO Turkey Trot that's coming up on Thanksgiving. Great ways to get involved in the community, but not just focus on this period of giving. Think about how we extend that throughout the year, especially the Webster Dudley Food Share. In March, in June, there are a lot of families who are still in need, so keep that giving mindset and the support for the community members who need it.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson.
Just a couple topics that came up today that I think are fair to bring up. You know, we talk about you know, funding of improvements to whether it's the high school or town property or something. You know, finding interesting ways to help fund some of those items are probably important to think outside the normal realm. I think we have mixed results when we talk about donations, because you know, various programs, whether it's the playground or the football field, you know, you can see various types of success in those types of funding methods. I just you know, I'd like us to be careful. So when I hear about, you know, funding a replacement for the football field that we haven't finished paying for or finished collecting the donations for, you know, I get a little nervous. So that's what the angst you saw me have when it was brought up earlier. So there's got to be other ways to do some of this work. So I appreciate them at least having that conversation. And then, you know, going back to the 'tis the season. There's a lot of people going through a lot of tough times, and you know, it could be from disruption of some charitable funding for food and heat, and you heard a lot of that today through the Hands program and the food share and Toys for Tots and all that. So if you can be generous, please be generous, and that doesn't necessarily mean money. It could be time and effort. So you know, please think about that. Thank you.
I don't have much. If you don't have plans this coming Saturday, I'm just gonna plug the Shepherd Hill Music Parents Craft Fair at the high school. Starts at like 9 a.m. It's a banner day. It's an event that they host every year, and local crafters are there. You can buy some like great handmade things. The students will be dressed in their holiday finery, and it's just a really good day and a great time to pop up if you haven't been up in a while. So other than that, I think we're good. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.